Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's program, How to Streamline and Scale with Amazon Business. At the Chamber, our focus is to help people live, work, and thrive in Austin, and we're dedicated to being a trusted resource for business. At the beginning of the pandemic, we quickly launched webinars providing financial relief information, and throughout the past year, we've prioritized keeping you connected through virtual networking events. And as we look to reopen, we are focused on making sure our business community is in a position of strength and poised for growth. This includes helping your business find new ways to simplify purchasing, as well as reach new customers with your products. In today's program, you'll hear from our friends at Amazon Business, who will walk you through how to leverage the power of Amazon to lower your costs and grow your business. Before we get started, I'd like to thank the following annual partners, whose support helps provide excellent programming for you all year long: Amazon, Ascension Seton, Dell Technologies, PIMCO, and Wells Fargo. And thank you to our foundation partners and to our many corporate partners. I'd also like to thank the sponsors that made today's event possible. Our presenting sponsor for the Economic Recovery Series is Dell Technologies. I'd also like to thank our foundation sustainers and our corporate sustainers. And of course, our partner for today's event, Amazon. And now I'd like to welcome Megan Wright, Small Business Association's lead with Dell Technologies. Megan has now worked with us on several of these economic recovery events, and we're so glad to have her support.
Thanks so much for that introduction, Amanda, and thank you to the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce for putting together today's event. As many of you may know, Dell Technologies was born and raised in Austin, Texas, so we find it extremely important to support our neighbors and small business owners in the central and greater Austin areas. We have seen the impact that COVID-19 has had on small businesses in our city, and we're here to partner with you as that technology partner to really ensure that your business is pivoting in the right direction through technology. And we do have a really great partnership between Austin Chamber of Commerce and Dell Technologies that includes some great benefits for Austin Chamber members. So if you are interested in learning more, feel free to visit dell.com/Austin Chamber for more details. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Rob Green. Rob Green is General Manager of Amazon Business, U.S. Public Sector, leading go-to-market teams in government, education, and nonprofit segments. Prior to Amazon, Rob spent more than 20 years as a senior executive at Oracle Corporation in development, consulting, and sales leadership roles. He has a track record of scaling regional, national, and worldwide sales and delivery engines that deliver results. And we'll welcome on Rob Green.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to do a quick check. I had a minor technical glitch. So, Megan, if you just introduced me, I apologize. I missed that intro. So I just want to make sure that I've got the floor here to present now.
Yes, Rob,
no problem. Apologies for that minor technical glitch. But thank you to the Austin Chamber team for inviting us to join today. Thank you to Megan and Dell Technologies for sponsoring today's event. It's a thrill to be back with the Austin Chamber team and to have the opportunity to chat with many of you today. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Rob Green. I lead Amazon's public sector team. That's a team that focuses on engaging with customers across government, nonprofit, and education segments. And I'm joined by two members of our team who are Austin-based, Becky Bowie and Jeff Benish. Amazon has been present in the Austin community for many years, and we're thrilled to be part of the community and also thrilled to have two of our site leaders in Becky and Jeff join us to chat about Amazon Business. It was just over a year ago that Lynn Chasteen from the Austin Chamber reached out to the Amazon team members and ultimately got connected to me and invited us to join a live in-person session a year ago, March 2020. And I was so looking forward to presenting and meeting many of the members of the Austin community at that time. And then the pandemic took root and we had to quickly adjust. And we wound up deferring our event from March 2020 to, I believe it was May of 2020. And we delivered it in a virtual format. So it feels a little bit like deja vu to be back with you here a year later. We're still in a virtual format, but pleased to be able to provide an update on some of the goings on with Amazon Business, some of the progress we've made over the last year. But I certainly hope that our next event will be live in person and we'll have a chance to meet many of you face to face. So without further ado, I'm just going to share a brief intro about Amazon Business and then turn things over to Becky and to Jeff. As noted here on our intro slide, Becky leads our commercial startup team or incubation sales team, and Jeff focuses on supplier and seller development and recruitment. And so they'll share a little bit more about their focus and how Amazon Business can benefit you from a buying perspective, as well as a go-to-market or selling perspective for those of you who have products that you might be looking to bring to market through Amazon's channel. So on that note, why don't we move on to the main presentation? And just to set things up, one of the things that Amazon really focuses on, perhaps some of you have heard that Amazon has a number of leadership principles. We have 14 to be exact. And among them are customer obsession, dive deep, build trust. And while all are meant to be equal, customer obsession tends to come to the fore more often than not. And that's because Amazon really obsesses over the customer, and we look at customer problems and opportunities and work backward from those opportunities and challenges to try to solve for them. And that is really a hallmark of how Amazon focuses on innovation. And it's enabled us to grow and scale and invent on behalf of customers to a point where now, as we move to the next slide, you'll see we've delivered a number of very compelling innovations and scaled the business. So from small beginnings of figuring out how to sell books online and solve for selling books online, Amazon has now become a very large organization, very large enterprise where we sell over 4,000 products per minute. We've really leaned into automation and scale through robotics and obviously artificial intelligence. We've identified new areas that customers didn't even know they needed, like our Alexa devices, the Echo devices, and really invented on behalf of customers. And throughout, one of our main focuses on trying to make the experience with Amazon as frictionless as possible. We've taken this approach with Amazon Business and really looked to solve for and invent on behalf of business buyers. And in so doing, we've really focused on trying to reshape the B2B procurement experience. And so we're really trying to enable and equip pioneering procurement leaders to shape their buying processes and business operations that help them move forward. And that's never been more important than in the current environment, where new requirements, needs have emerged as businesses had to pivot very quickly with the pandemic, shifting to work from home, shifting to supporting workers on the front lines, shifting to remote learning. And so we've really been hard at work over the last year trying to help our customers respond to the prevailing environment. We launched Amazon Business just over 6 years ago in April of 2015. And we did so in response in part to the recognition that we saw business customers leveraging their consumer accounts to buy on behalf of their businesses. So we were able to see through propensity modeling that a number of business buyers were buying on the consumer side, and we recognized there was an opportunity to create a differentiated experience, an improved experience for business buyers. And so in response to that, we launched Amazon Business. And in the 6 years since we launched, we've scaled the business to now support over 5 million customers worldwide. We're operational in 9 countries, including the US and Canada, throughout Europe, Japan, and India as well. We're very proud that we now serve 80 of the Fortune 100, 92 of the 100 largest hospital systems in the US, 45 of 50 state governments, and 80 of the largest education organizations. We've also put an explicit focus beginning this year on serving nonprofit organizations in a more direct and meaningful way, and so far have scaled to serving over 75,000 nonprofit organizations. And so over the course of Amazon Business's existence, we've been very focused on improving the B2B buying experience, innovating on behalf of customers, and now have brought hundreds of millions of products to procurement professionals, institutional buyers, as well as frontline buyers with over 60 million business-only discounts. And so we are tirelessly focused on continue to improve the B2B procurement journey, and at the same time, open Amazon Business for sellers and selling partners or merchants that want to reach Amazon Business customers. And you'll hear later from Jeff, who will talk more about connecting buyers and diverse sellers. But one thing we've heard consistently from both commercial customers and public sector customers is that they want the opportunity to support local businesses. They want the opportunity to support diverse owned businesses, whether that's minority owned, female owned, veteran owned. And so we are enabling small businesses to scale with Amazon Business and reach customers beyond their geographic reach and scale nationally or scale internationally. We've got a number of examples of sellers who have grown their businesses by leveraging Amazon Business. One that we're particularly proud of, based in the Austin area, by the name of Office Techs. And they started selling through Amazon several years back, and within the first year, it almost doubled their entire business, scaling from serving businesses in the Austin region to national and ultimately international customers as well. As I mentioned, over the course of the past year, we've also been focused on how to respond to the COVID pandemic and to support our customers in their time of need. Just over a year ago, as we understood the pandemic was really going to take root and be something we're going to have to reckon with for an extended period of time, we stood up what we refer to as the COVID supplies store and made available PPE and other supplies that were vital to supporting frontline workers, healthcare professionals. And we did this at cost. We didn't intend to make a profit off of it. We just wanted to do something that leveraged our global supply chain for those who were in dire need. And over the course of the past 12 months, we made available over 12,000 unique products, shipped almost 3 million orders, 508 million gloves, 64 million masks, and supported almost 650,000 customers through our COVID-19 supply hub. And we're thrilled to be able to serve customers in a time of need and rally the Amazon Business team around this very, very vital mission. So as we look backward over the last 12 months, it's been challenging for all of us, but now we're looking forward to a return to some level of more normalcy. And as I mentioned, my sincere hope is that for our next get-together with the Austin community, we're able to do so in person. I'm going to turn things over to Becky Bowie now, as I mentioned, one of our site leaders in Austin, to share a little bit more about Amazon Business and how, if you're interested, it can help you reshape your buying.
Hi, everyone. I'm joining you from the Austin Amazon office in the Domain. So great to be speaking to a group of my neighbors here in Austin. And as Rob mentioned, I'm one of the commercial sales leaders. And so I work with thousands of different customers from small to large, but have learned a lot from these customers about what their needs are, how buying has changed over the years, what we need to do to be as efficient as possible. And so based on those learnings, we put together 5 tips that you guys can take away today to help reshape your buying. And we'll also share insights from our customers that helped us form these 5 tips. So here's a quick preview of what the 5 tips are. The first is to start early with embracing digital solutions for your buying. The second is to save time and money by using an online store. The third is to empower your employees with an easy shopping experience, just like they're used to having in their personal life. Fourth is to improve your cash flow by taking advantage of flexible payment options. And then finally, scale your business with technology that grows with you. So we do a study with chief procurement officers every year to really learn what their plans are as they evolve their purchasing processes. And one thing we've learned is that the transition to digital is no longer a question of if, but when. So while the majority of these CPOs plan to do a digital transformation or are in some stage of it, we found that only 27% of organizations have actually completed their digital transformation. And then we saw that last year that the disruptions to the supply chain, as well as just all the changes we saw to our workforce, really magnified the need for digital solutions, and for a lot of customers accelerated that process. So tip number one is to start early with embracing digital purchasing processes. The larger the company, the more suppliers you have, the harder it is to undo some of those older processes. And so if you can start using digital purchasing processes like Amazon Business, definitely start early with that. We've also heard from our customers that shopping can take a lot of time. In fact, in a study that we saw from our education business owners, 94% said that they spent 2 to 10 hours each week on shopping trips and managing receipts. That is a lot of time. And on the commercial side, I can share anecdotally, we do what we call as a supplier analysis for a lot of our customers. We'll take all of their credit card data from their P-card program or their corporate card program and do deep analysis to find opportunities for cost optimization. And one thing that we are consistently very surprised by, as are our customers, is just the number of trips to store that their employees are taking. So going to Costco to buy more supplies for the break room, running to Office Depot when they need some office supplies. And those hours can really add up when you're leaving your desk, getting in your car. And so my next tip is to use an online store to not only save time for trips in store, but also to save money. And so Rob mentioned this before. We built Amazon Business to give businesses the same experience that they're used to for their personal shopping, but it's designed specifically for businesses. And so I'm sure plenty of you have personal accounts with Amazon. And so what we would have you do is to create a business account for your organization. And so all of the things I'm about to share are specific to that Amazon Business account. And really, it comes down to getting everything you need all in one place. So we have business-only prices and business selection. Both of these Rob mentioned. The exclusive prices and quantity discounts you can get on more than 5 million products. And then just hundreds of millions of business-relevant products. So that could be office supplies, break room, janitorial, MRO. So we work with all different types of businesses, from higher education to industrials to agribusiness. And we, in the same way that you're used to getting pretty much anything you could possibly need on Amazon.com, Amazon Business has even more selection. We have, of course, shipping and delivery. So you can get free shipping on eligible orders of $25 or more across Amazon Business. You can set your delivery preferences to get your orders where and when it's most convenient for your business. I'll talk a little bit more about the business version of Prime in a moment. And finally, I think one of the things that a lot of our customers appreciate most by putting everything in one place is consolidating their suppliers. So as your business grows, you'll find that you get more and more suppliers, and the overhead to manage those relationships, to manage the invoices, really does add up. So with Amazon Business, you get the benefit of having a large number of suppliers, but they're all consolidated into one place. So if you do want to have diverse suppliers, local suppliers, women-owned, some of those different certifications that we mentioned earlier, you can do that. You can also benefit from the competitive pricing that comes from having all of these different suppliers, but you can still ultimately have them all in one place with Amazon Business and on one invoice. Okay, so then another insight to share. We hear from a lot of our customers that their employees just want shopping to be easy. In fact, 82% of business buyers want the same experience as when they're buying for themselves. And so the third tip is to empower your employees by giving them that easy business shopping experience. And I know sometimes as stewards of your business, this might sound a little strange to just hand over the keys to your employees, but we do provide all the tools to give them what they need to hand the shopping over to them and make it easy for them to shop at the same time that you're maintaining control as the owner of that corporate account. And so I'll talk about a little bit about both sides. So first, on the easy experience, a lot of it is because of that investment in innovation and how that allows us to automate the shopping, the ordering, and the delivery. So we provide suggested products. This is using machine learning to suggest the products that we think are most likely to be of interest, whether they be from your own purchase history or from other organizations that look like you, just to help you get to the right products even faster so you can get back to work. We have business lists. And this can really come in handy, for example, if you always buy the same set of products every time you have a new hire and you just want to create a list for new hires. There's lots of different use cases for creating those lists for recurring items and just making it a few clicks and then you're done. Flexible deliveries. So you can actually set up recurring deliveries and save 10% on eligible products. And there's also just a lot of opportunity to customize those deliveries to work for your employees. So a great example of that was in this past year when a lot of employees went to work from home. Our customers came to us and said, oh my gosh, we're used to having everything delivered to the office or delivered to a plant or a certain central location, but now we need you guys to deliver to residential addresses. Well, that's where we started. So that was pretty easy for us to make that shift. And so we have customers now who still have certain things delivered to employee residences. Some are kind of doing a hybrid, some are back to the office, but whatever works for you, we can make work and for your employees. And then finally, the mobile app. So this is pretty hot off the presses. We just launched a standalone mobile app for Amazon Business 2 weeks ago on iOS, last week on Android. We haven't even announced it with press just yet, but you guys are getting a little bit of a sneak preview. But it's available for download. And so a lot of customers are finding that in the same way that their employees have moved a lot of their personal shopping onto their mobile apps, they want to do the same for business. And so we've provided that to make not only shopping and purchasing, but things like approving purchases so much easier on any device. Okay, we also have learned, especially in the last year, that cash is still king. There was a study by the JP Morgan Chase Academy, which said that half of all small businesses maintain a cash buffer of less than a month. So that is to say that if all inflows of cash stopped, these businesses would run out of cash in less than 30 days, which I'm sure you all have felt this at some point in your career and know how scary this can be for small businesses. So tip number 4 for small, medium, and large businesses is to improve your cash flow by utilizing the different flexible payment options available to you. So for Amazon Business, we have two that we think could meet your needs. So the first is the Small Business Credit Card. This is called the Amazon Business Prime American Express card. And if you go this route, you have 2 different benefit options. You can either get 5% back, or you can choose to do 90-day terms. So you can shop now, pay later on your purchases on Amazon Business. A second option that is very popular for our customers as they grow is to do pay by invoice. So again, you're setting up a credit line so you can buy now, pay later, no interest or fees. And that's a net 30-day payment term. All right, one more tip for you, and this is all around planning for growth. Robert Mock, who's the co-founder and CEO of Ocean's Halo, shared with us, as a fast-growing food brand, we can't afford to have our teams spend time on things that don't add value or help us grow. I'm sure this resonates with a lot of you. You want to be focused on the things that are going to grow your business and then make sure that you're investing in processes that will grow with you and not impede that growth. And so the final tip is to leverage technology to help scale your business. And this applies, of course, to a lot of aspects of your business, but specifically for buying, Amazon Business is always thinking about how we can scale and how we can scale with you. And so a few ways that you can use tools to grow with confidence with Amazon Business. First is with the controls that we provide. So as I mentioned, you create one Amazon business account for your organization, and then you can invite any employee to be a user. So it's a multi-user account experience, and you can then create groups to group those users. So maybe it's one group for each department, for each location, store locations, and set up different rules for those different groups, set up budgets for those different groups. You can also set up approvals. So that could be a very simple approval chain. You can have multiple levels of approvals. Maybe some groups have a certain budget range that they can purchase without any approval, and maybe other groups have a little bit more oversight. But you have all the control to set that up. So as you add more employees to your business, you're ready to go without having to worry about losing control over that long tail of spend that can kind of go rogue, as I'm sure you guys have experienced. You also have the analytics. So as your business grows, as you have more shopping, it can be really easy to lose insight into your business. And so we provide analytics to help you make smart purchasing decisions, and also to make reconciliation really easy with credit card level data. And then finally, we integrate with a lot of different types of technologies. So one example would be single sign-on. We also integrate with e-procurement systems. So if you have an e-procurement technology you use, we integrate with a lot of those. But for SSO, it's, for a lot of you that use this is an easy one-click way to securely access Amazon Business. So if your employees use that across the organization for other use cases, Amazon Business can easily integrate with that experience. One more benefit to throw out there is Business Prime. So Amazon Business is an account that you create, and then you can also purchase a Business Prime membership. So very similar to how you can have an account with Amazon.com, and then you can choose to purchase an Amazon Prime membership. So the business version of Prime, it gives you procurement benefits, so you can gain insight into your entire business spend. You can set up more controls to really help guide your employees to the products that you'd like for them to use. There are payment benefits. So I mentioned that with pay by invoice, you can get net 30 terms, but our Business Prime members are also eligible for 45 or even up to 60-day terms. And then, of course, the fast free business delivery. So Business Prime members get unlimited free 2-day shipping, and in some cases, free same-day or 1-day shipping as well. And the nice thing about Business Prime is that you purchase one membership for your organization, and then any of your employees who are a user on your account can utilize the benefits. So just to recap those 5 tips. So first is starting early with embracing your digital purchasing processes. Second, to use an online store to save time by avoiding those trips to the store, avoiding a lot of shopping across different sites, and also money, because you get that huge selection, competitive pricing, and all of those suppliers in one place. Third is to empower your employees with an easy business shopping experience. So they really enjoy having that easy experience. They already know how to use Amazon, and we have all the tools to make it even easier for them to get in and get out quickly. Improve your cash flows with flexible payment options. So that includes the small business credit card as well as pay by invoice. And then finally, leverage technology to help you scale using those multi-account features, approvals, leveraging single sign-on, and our delivery options, as well as Business Prime. So one final takeaway. Oh, sorry, that's the 5 takeaways. And now I will hand it over to Jeff, who will talk a little bit more about bringing the business and selling partners together in the marketplace.
Yeah, thanks so much, Becky, and thank you, Rob. I joined Amazon Business last year, and the thing that really drove me to joining Amazon Business was this opportunity for, call it, really transformative spend management. And having spent many years in different companies, I realized how hard it was for companies to either surface selection from different catalogs to their buyers, or to just manage those approvals that are needed for procurement. And so, the thing I love about Amazon Business is that it really helps businesses achieve some of the kind of procurement sophistication that is, incredibly expensive and difficult to build on your own in an agile fashion. Now, my part of Amazon Business and what I want to talk with you about today is how you actually join Amazon to start selling on Amazon. So in my world, my customer that's our sellers, and I want our sellers to be successful on one of the best buying marketplaces on the planet. So with that, I want to share with you today a couple of things about joining to sell on Amazon. Now, to sell on Amazon, we represent opportunities for all forms of companies to sell on Amazon. Whether you're a manufacturer, a reseller, if you own a brand and someone else manufactures for you, whether you're a small startup business or a large company, we have ways for you to use the marketplace to reach more customers. For sellers, you get to reach all of these customers in the same way that the consumers get to see them, and you get to be present at the time of consideration. And these are different stories that I love to see. The ones I saw earlier this week was a music teacher at a primary school buying musical instruments via Amazon. That's the kind of opportunity, if you're a musical instruments reseller, which would be really hard to find with a direct sales force. You get to be present when the buyers are considering you. We offer a lot of specific capabilities for business sellers to offer specific prices or quantities that are of unique interest to business customers. And then finally, on seller credentials, that's something that I'll spend a little bit more time on today, but this is something in terms of diversity and quality credentials where a lot of our customers care deeply about that, and we want you to be able to market your credentials to those sellers so they can find those sellers of preference when they're looking for those. Next slide, please. Now, something you may not have known is just how prevalent third-party sellers are on Amazon. So when you think about Amazon, you may think about Amazon as a retailer where we have vendors where we directly source the inventory. But we actually have more than 60% of our business coming from what we refer to as third-party sellers. And these are sellers who maintain all of the control over the selling themselves and really then just use Amazon as a way to reach the customers. And you get to maintain your own inventory, your own pricing, and a lot of influence over your own logistics, should you so choose. So this is a really fast-growing part of our business that's incredibly important to us. Okay, next slide, please. So to illustrate these differences, when you're thinking about selling on Amazon, I'd like you to think about two different paths. One of them on the right is what we refer to as the retail path, which is you apply to become a vendor, and then Amazon manages the pricing and the shipping and the customer service. The other avenue is what we refer to as third party, where it's still your products, but you register to become a business seller. And then when you do that, you can choose to either use our logistics channel and fulfilled by Amazon, or you can choose to handle the pricing, shipping, and customer service logistics all yourself. There's two different paths that give you different ways of selling depending on how much control you want to maintain over the process and what your internal capabilities are at that time. Had a great conversation 2 weeks ago with a company that was trying to enter e-commerce after 50 years in business. And we had a lot of discussions with them in terms of what was really important to them in e-commerce. Was it investing in their brand, investing in their own kind of .com direct sales site, or coming up with the basics of e-commerce in terms of just the customer service and fulfillment ends. And they're really excited about continuing this path with us because it gives them a way to jumpstart their e-commerce ambitions and really introduce products in a way that they haven't in their previous history. Next slide, please. So if you're to go onto Amazon Business and think about registering as a seller, you'll see a couple of different things. I just want to take a moment to highlight this to you because we do have a lot of self-service information. But I also find sometimes it's helpful to just kind of share a little bit of the voiceover as to what these different types of selling are. So as we said, there's different dimensions of choice that you have in terms of how you sell in the Amazon marketplace. So you can choose to own your own inventory, fulfill your own orders via Amazon or your own logistics channels, manage your own customer service, have your offers visible to all consumers or business customers. That's all very very common, and that has some ranges there in terms of whether you're a retail vendor or a third-party seller. Now, we do have a program called Amazon Business Professional Sellers. And what this gives you is this also gives you the ability to restrict your product selection to specific customers based on their NAICS codes or provide business-only pricing. You can imagine this use case in a couple of ways. This became really important this last year when we had a lot of COVID-related protective equipment vendors who wanted to offer their selection, but only offered that to licensed medical professionals. We have other products which are really targeted, for instance, to the education environment, and customers and sellers want to say, I want to sell this on Amazon, but I only want this visible to customers who are registered education buyers. We give you that choice as a Amazon Business Professional seller. We also give you the choice to offer specific pricing to business customers. Next slide, please. Something that's become increasingly important to our buyers are what we see as the seller credentials. And just some quick statistics on this. Many of you know that in terms of GSA and Department of Defense spending, they often say that they will target 15 to 20% or more of their purchases to go to either small businesses, diversity-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses. In addition, in the Austin area, you all know this well, between Fort Hood and Fort Lackland Air Force Base, there's also a lot of local-based seller preference. And so what we've done is we've really made it very easy for businesses to register themselves with the appropriate credentials and then have buyers preferentially search for those kinds of offers from those kinds of sellers. We see this a lot in large enterprise and educational institutions as well, where they really do want to direct their business towards different groups. And we try to make it very easy on both sides for the buyers to find you as that kind of seller. Okay. Next slide. Okay. I mentioned some of the specific things in terms of business features. Something that's really important when you're trying to reach customers is to try to differentiate your offers. And a lot of times you may be working with things that are either large packs where you want to sell 10 or 20 of something at one time, or if you want to, like I said, have that offer that's specifically to like an education customer, like a music teacher. We offer two specific vehicles for business customers and business sellers, where we offer that business pricing, which you can choose to offer that to all businesses or certain segments. And the second thing is that quantity discounts. So the same HP laptop that you may see advertised to consumers at $279 may be offered specifically to registered business customers at $247. Or if you buy 30 or more units, you can then get a large pallet type quantity of $229. We want to make it very easy for you to target things. As an example of how successful this is, recently I've seen that we've mentioned a lot about the COVID supplies. We had a manufacturer of N95 respirators who started selling on Amazon just in the last few months. And they actually achieved more than 40% sales to specific business customers by offering a pallet quantity of N95 respirators of 1,000 N95 respirators on a pallet. And it's actually a really high percentage that we're able to achieve in terms of specific business customer purchasing. And they did this by tailoring their offers to who they wanted to meet in terms of this real called bulk sale of respirators in this case. And you can have those same examples in any other business. Okay, so I do see a question in terms of, I see a question from Steve here in terms of companies that sell the recurring services, such as janitorial, et cetera. So, Steve, this is a great question. And this is something where we don't have this service at the moment. We actually stopped some of these called on-premise services as part of the COVID precautions. it is something that we are actively exploring. One thing that's very relevant to this is what we're seeing is that there's a lot of companies that sell a mix of products and services, and we have a program that we refer to as Shop Local. And what this does is it allows you to create offers, down to the specific zip code. So if you are a local company and whether you want to do something that has, an installation attached to it, or if you want to do something that has, specifically, very hard to deliver, we allow buyers and sellers to connect down at that called zip code level for certain kinds of products or services that really do have that component. So if you had something like this, like you're running an installation business, you could sell appliances with that installation service via our Shop Local program. We know that this interest is out there, and we are actively looking at ways to continue to innovate around our services. All right, thanks, Steve. For the other part that comes out is what we refer to as the Amazon brand stores, where you can start your business and then create your own landing page on Amazon to really represent your products and your business the way that you would like to. Again, we really are an incredible way to access the traffic of buying customers. And that's one of the hardest things in e-commerce, is to actually get the traffic to your website and be where the customers are. So we offer that, and we want to make it really easy for you to represent yourselves to the customers. Next slide, please. This is just a great success story. I love to cook. I'm really looking forward to being able to, college game day was a big thing in our house before we, had to do more social distancing. Next year, I'm going to have sons at both UT and A&M. So it's going to be a real divided household on Saturdays. But I love to cook, love to have 30, 50 people over and cook for them. So Chef's Toys is a company that I love to be able to talk about. They were a local business in Southern California, and they really wanted to expand by e-commerce. They really didn't know the first thing about selling on e-commerce when they first started. So they started joining Amazon Business. And just by kind of bringing their selection online with us, they were actually able to achieve over $300,000 in their first year, and were able to triple that in their second year. So for a small company, this ability to find incremental revenue quickly through customers in different locations around the country, around the globe, is a fantastic opportunity. It's a fantastic opportunity for you. And we'd be happy to talk with you about opportunities to start leveraging Amazon. Okay. Next slide. So some takeaways here. We want you to be able to start selling quickly. And there's really only a couple steps that you need to follow. And we do try to provide good tools for this and some live support for this too. But the couple steps. One of them is register, where we do want to establish trust in the marketplace. So we do actually do some validation of you as a business. Second, you kind of build your site by uploading all your SKU information. Third, make your choices around fulfillment, whether yourself through your own logistics or using fulfillment by Amazon. And then finally, start to think about your advertising strategies, whether you want to invest in your brand store or do things like sponsored products. So we want to make it really easy for you to be successful on Amazon. That's what my team lives for day to day. And so any kinds of products that you can think of selling, we'd love to see if we can help you find those sellers that want that and connect with them and grow your business. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions here? Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Lacey.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, this concludes our session for today. Thanks everyone for spending time with us, and thank you to our presenters, Amazon. Such great information. We really appreciate you joining us today. And again, thanks for everyone attending. Now, please remember, you can actually go and visit in the chat a link to take a look at the future Chamber of Commerce events that are coming up. So don't miss out on signing up for some really great events here in the future. And we again appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of your day.